Hello, Aquarius. This one's for you. This is Tarot Lumination with your August 2017 Love and Relationship Report. That's you, Aquarius. And we do these reports on the understanding that we're most likely dealing with a significant relationship. Someone like a chosen relationship. This would be your energy. This would be their energy. Now, you can read these for singles if you really want to, because either way, as a single person, you're still radiating the energy of relationship. And it may not be that you have that energy in your life right now, but you might be attracting that kind of energy, and it's on its way. So it's like a learning process and evolution. However, mostly these readings are designed for people who are at some degree of attachment, also to the point where in very significant relationships like marriages, where it's a formalized, chosen relationship, in which case we're dealing with the energy of the crucible, okay? The crucible being a structure that can withstand tremendous pressure as the relationship lives its life through the ups and the downs, the sorrow, the joy, the boredom, the excitement, the separation, the intimacy, all of it, all at once. And if you have a really good crucible, that means you have a good, strong relationship. Okay. And it's also on the understanding with these readings that there's yourself and a significant other and the relationship. And the relationship has an identity and structure and energy of its own. Okay. So please, it would help tremendously for your understanding if you would watch the introduction video for the whole playlist. And of course, you've done this before, read for your sun, moon, and rising. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it, people. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, and so we're just going to dive in. And we're going to do a little oracle card at the end. We're going to do the Romance Angels card, just one, okay? Just to sort of like put a ribbon on it, okay? Even if it's a yucky reading, we'll come out with something, okay? All right, here we go. You are well shuffled, Aquarius, okay? We're going to cut it, break it up, break up the energy a lot here. So you have a really clean deck. All right, let's have a look. Here's your energy. Here's a significant other, or a hopeful significant other, perhaps. Here is deeper into your energy, deeper into their energy. And here's the energy of the relationship itself. Can you see how we're building a crucible shape here? And this is where the momentum of the relationship is kind of going, okay? So I'm hoping you can see that diagrammatically, all right? And I'm trying to make a good impression here for you. And also in the background, we have what I like to think of as just the weather conditions. This would be the prevailing conditions, as if you were looking outside the front door of your relationship, like what's going on, people, and you just like get a taste of the weather. And then you just deal with it, just like anybody has to do when you wake up in the morning or whenever you go out and live your day, whatever it is, you make the best of the weather, you know, because that's what everybody does, because that's what we have to do. So with you, you have the Emperor, okay? So we might be dealing with energies of, let's say, raw power, the power of very, very strong dominance. Now, this is a masculine card, but we're just focusing on the energy, not the people, okay? So, because you might be a guy or you might be a girl watching this, no matter. We're just talking about the energy. The Emperor energy is unquestionable. The Emperor has complete and absolute authority and dominion over the empire, their world, okay? And it usually indicates the sort of power that can be unlimited and unchecked. In other words, the Emperor energy, when challenged, will do whatever it has to do to maintain their position, okay? So it's literally no holds barred. The Emperor has no shame or guilt or qualms about doing what it has to do to maintain dominion, okay? And their energy is absolute. And sometimes with Emperor energy, it can go to the head. In other words, people can become like addicted to power, addicted to authority, and become absolutists in the way relationship dynamics occur. So Aquarius, you might be feeling as though like the conditions are right for you to really fully come into your own power, or you might be feeling like the weather conditions are waking you up to the idea that there are other powers out there that are very, very, very dominant, which can be so dominant that they can almost have a repressive impact on your life, on your evolution. So Aquarius also, by the way, before we get into the reading itself, we're dealing with August. So we're dealing with the Leo North Node eclipses. So you're going to probably feel things very, very strongly through August, because especially around the full moon in early August, where it's an Aquarius moon. So things might really come into light around that time regarding love and relationship, for better or worse. And let's put it this way, whatever needs to be exposed and revealed will be revealed in some way or another. And then you have a chance to work on things and figure things out. Let's have a look at your energy. Okay, so you're hard at it. Okay, this is like the Eight of Pentacles would suggest that you are deeply invested in being the best that you can be, doing what you have to do to survive, and above and beyond that, like there's a very strong energy of mission and purpose here. That's what I'm feeling for you, Aquarius. Like you are very, very, very determined to make your mark, stand your ground, rise up to your true self, and you understand that it takes work. And sometimes it can take so much work that it pulls you away from significant relationships, which is what often happens when people go out to work. Let's say you're of working age and you're out of school or out of college and you're living a life and you're like out there in the thick of it, out in the big wide world, doing whatever you do, and you bring money in and you have your skills and resources and talents and you are compensated accordingly, and it's work. But when you go out to work, that takes you away from home and family. Many, many, many times that's what happens. Men and women these days, especially in the economically advanced countries where, you know, men and women can pretty much do whatever they want up to a point. And that's your energy here, Aquarius. You might be literally, you know, right on the grindstone right now, really, really pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, where the energy of relationships might not even be that important, might not be your biggest concern right now, because you're so concerned about just being an Aquarius. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because with the new moon at the end of July and the new moon at the end of August, both of these are in Leo. The one at the end of August is an eclipse, and you've got the Aquarius full moon in the middle. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on you, Aquarius. We're dealing with the South Node energy, so you might feel as though there's a tremendous amount of almost oppressive energy because the Leo sun is your polar opposite. And in the energy of significant relationships, when you're dealing with the sun-sun opposition, that can be very, very powerful and effective in a relationship, so long as you are already operating at optimal Aquarian conditions. And then when you meet an appropriate Leo type energy, it can be very, very fulfilling because you get the maximum amount of clarity and reflection in a very pure way, as opposed to like a different sign at a different angle. You're getting full on, like a really crystal clear, perfect mirror. And the challenge, of course, with a fully polarized relationship is that you, Aquarius, see everything about you being reflected back from your significant other. And the problem there is a lot of people don't like everything that they see in the reflection. Because with the energy of polarity, of maximum polarity, during this August eclipse season for you, Aquarius, you might be getting that reflection. There's you, Aquarius being Aquarius, and you might be getting a full-on reflection of everything about you. And some of it might not resonate very well with you, okay? You've got, in other words, you might be dealing with the energy of a significant other that can feel very, very, I don't want to say oppressive, but very, very strong, very, very evident, where it makes you really, really wonder who you are and what you're doing. And that because it's almost too challenging, almost overwhelming, it might be healthier for you to just focus on minding your own business and take note of the energies around you. But again, focus on yourself. That's a very, probably a healthy way to go right now. Otherwise, these Leo new moons and this Leo eclipse and Leo North Node energy could feel very overwhelming for you, Aquarius. All right. So let's have a look at another. Okay. With the significant other, you might be in a situation where it almost feels like unrelenting pressure, where a significant other is, it might feel as though they're undermining you. This is the little page of the sword. They might not mean it outwardly, overtly. They might actually believe they're doing you a tremendous favor. They might actually feel as though, I'm just right for you. And I'm just letting you know, Aquarius, that there's some stuff we have to deal with. The Page of Swords is almost like a youthful vigilante. They're like all fired up about, I'm going to live the truth. I want the truth and only the truth. And anything that isn't truthful, I'm just going to knock it over, knock it down. Okay? We're going to do that. And they're not necessarily fully aware that they could be seriously tipping things over. You know, tipping over well-established altars, well-structured foundations that, or let's say institutions or organizations that appear to be fully like magnificent, okay? So let's say this is the prevailing energy. This isn't you or the other. This is energy where it's very, very strong energy, okay? In your environment, Aquarius, which might feel oppressive and very challenging. And that feeling of oppression and challenge could be coming at you with realizations, even if you're not in a significant relationship. You might be in a realization from the energy of, let's say, very deeply engaging relationships, even though they might not be romantic, but let's say very spiritual or very determined or very, very close chosen relationships where significant uncomfortable truths have been exposed. And that might not sit well with you, okay? And it might feel oppressive. It might feel as though you're being pushed against the wall and challenged and being like, almost like the energy of another, even though even if it's not right in your face right now, you might be feeling this energy very, very strongly. And it might have been building up for quite a long time, months or many, many months, or even a year or two. And it's happening right now where you could be relating to someone significant, either through the astral planes or in person, where all these like truths are being reflected back to you. It's almost like it doesn't even have to be reflected back from the person. It's just the energy of the relationship dynamic where, let's say there's several parties out there and you've had very strong interactions with parties, even very, very loving. Let's say it's a very, very deeply platonic type of love, okay? It doesn't even have to be sexual or romantic. It can be. All I'm suggesting here is that what the reading is indicating to me, as your reader, is that there are a lot of, let's say, awkward, what's that expression that politician had used? Inconvenient truths being exposed, coming to light, having related to a significant other. And it makes you feel as though you might be boxed into a corner, and that what you want to do is kind of work your way out, accept and understand this. And it might have been very uncomfortable, but the energy flow is still there. And it's very, very strong energy, but it's being delivered. Like I'm trying to distinguish between the energy overall and the actual way the relationship is being conducted. What I'm feeling is that you would feel the energy of the relationship as very, very strong, but in a very deep, deep way, that might not be apparent in just the day-to-day actions of your day-to-day relationships, okay? But deep down, what you might be feeling is this energy of the Page of Swords coming at you, relating to you in ways that might have been very blunt and very, very true, and just a little bit uncomfortable, okay? So let's have a look. Let's have a look what's going on deeper inside of you there could be several significant others here, because you might have just been working all over the place. I don't know why I'm feeling several, but I'm feeling some very strong energy from at least several characters, okay? So going deeper. Okay. So Aquarius, it's very clear here in this reading that you have the best of intentions, okay? But this is more, it's almost like you have the best of intentions for yourself. Like you're doing everything you can to keep your world stable, your world in order, and working very, very hard to keep structure in the face of tremendously challenging energy, which would be felt as very strong opposing energy. Even though there might not be any harm intended, it just might be that this sweet, innocent Page of Swords here, in doing what they feel is their harmless vigilante work in the context of a relationship. In other words, they're saying, hi, Aquarius, well, I was just, we were relating, and I was just calling out my truth, and I just wanted to let you know, and I was just calling it out and informing you about us and our relationship and the dynamics. Thank you very much. And that might not have gone down too well with you, okay? But it's very strong. But on the positive side, it might be triggering a tremendous drive in you to really, really come into your power through the process of realization, through this reflection of a significant relationship, where the lovey-dovey stuff is not so emphasized. It's more about, what does this mean for you, Aquarius? Because it's a very strong indication that there's a lot of evolving to do here, and you are determined to evolve and grow the way these eclipses and new moon Leos are going to be triggering you. So you're hard at it, you understand it, and you get it, and you feel it deep down. So you're just buckled in doing it. And you definitely have goals and ambitions and desires, okay? It's very, very, very evident, and you're working towards that. It's that it might feel very challenging to get there and be that. You might have great aspirations when it comes to relationships. You might want a relationship with someone of significance, someone of power, someone who you might feel is an equal to yourself, and you're working to be that one, having had reflections from a significant other that would indicate you have a lot of work to do in order to be operating at optimal Aquarius energy, okay? I hope that made sense. I hope I'm not hurting your feelings here, Aquarius. Sometimes it's very, very hard to conduct and deliver the readings, especially if there's some very challenging cards. I hope you understand that. Don't take it personally, okay? Also, don't forget, read for your sun, moon, and rising. I think we said that earlier. All right, let's have a look at inside the significant others here. You see, there's more innocence here. It's almost like they actually really, truly have your best wishes at heart, okay? They have ambitions for themselves in the context of relationships. They might not actually be that deeply committed with you. You might not be that deeply committed in a significant relationship here. You might be dealing with someone who's kind of out on their own, trying to figure out their own dynamics, having the energy of significance with you that's been building up in momentum, perhaps over years, to where they are right now, where in some kind of ways they're actually a little bit kind of detached, okay? Now, in their detachment, they might still be reflecting back to you, and you might be feeling what we just described earlier here. But over here with the significant other, they may have discovered and learned from the reciprocal reflection back from you that they have desires and dreams and ambitions and plans of their own, which might not be anything to do with you. It might be that they have or had significant ambitions and plans that would or could make sense in the context of a close relationship. but there's no certainty here at all. It's kind of up in the air at the moment. The energy feels very strong because it's obviously that the intentions are good. In other words, let's just interpret the Emperor energy as you, Aquarius. Like the energy is supportive of you, Aquarius, to become that kind of power, have that kind of power, that high kind of dominion, that kind of strength, that type of unquestionable power and authority in your world. And it's happening, it's kind of in a slow process, let's say, because with the Three of Wands here, it might be an indicating that you've had these plans and desires for a long time, and you've been working at this for a long time, and you've seen hints and reflections of how this could work out. But in what relationship, in the context of what relationship, with what person, and how would this happen? Because you might be with someone who has a desire for like things to be absolutely optimal in a couple, in a relationship. But what I'm feeling here is that you're dealing with someone who's kind of out on their own, trying to figure out their own plans and their own energies. And the degree of, let's say, connection between the two parties, between yourself and a significant other, is not that strong in itself. It's more like the overall energy feels strong, and you're making the best of it, they're making the best of it, but it's almost like there's a lot of distance between the parties here. That's how it feels to me, okay, Aquarius? Let's have a look at the relationship itself, the energy of the relationship itself. Okay, so inside, like the foundation or the context of the relationship itself, you might be feeling as though you've had tremendous opportunities, there's tremendous capacity there for you, okay, in the context of a significant relationship with a significant other. Okay, let's put these cards aside, just forget them for a moment. Let's just pretend this is your reading about you, Aquarius, in a significant relationship with a significant other, or a hopeful significant other. And what it feels like is that for the relationship itself, it's kind of in the doldrums. In other words, there's all this potential, there's all this amazing potential energy that lies untapped, because with a significant other, they might be off on their own path, their own dreams, their own desires, ambitions, and doing whatever they have to do to make things work for them without any real serious investment in you or the relationship itself, leaving you feeling like, well, wait a minute, you know, what's actually going on here? Are we actually even in a relationship? Excuse me. Because, you know, with the little Four of Cups here, it's a very strong indication that you might be feeling morose, kind of sad, a bit like almost like a very kind of deep, long-term bit of woe is me. It's not crushing misery or shocking pain. It's a deep, deep sense of like, what do I do wrong? What am I doing wrong? What is it? I just don't get it. I'm working hard. I've got very noble ambitions, desires, and dreams, and I've related effectively to people, or at least I thought I did, and the environment is very, very, let's say, conducive to awesome things happening, but it's not happening. And why is that? Why is that? So again, it could be, let's get back to the raw energy, okay, Aquarius? It could be like, do you see how with the little Four of Cups, we've been getting this card so much in so many readings lately, and I think a lot of it is to do with the astrological patterns right now, or just call it the energy of heaven, because some of it is extremely stressful. We have a big fat fire trine, which is actually very supportive of you, Aquarius, but there's been a massive amount of very, very challenging energies, which is basically causing a lot of like grind on a lot of people, and including yourself possibly. Now add on top of that, Aquarius, coming into the Leo new moons coming up here, it's like you're under maximum pressure, maximum polarity, maximum opposition. And even with all your best efforts and best ambitions and seeing the possibilities of how your life could unfold in relationship, it actually feels kind of glum. You know, like, I'm awesome. I do this, I do that, but why am I feeling like this inside? Because this is not really you. This is the relationship itself. The relationship might be in the dumps right now because it's not being conducted in a healthy way. In other words, there's two people. Let's just say it's a two-person relationship, or you are relating to people in very loving ways, but it's not reciprocal, okay, in the way that it could be or should be. And this could be as a result of poor decision making in the past about who do you actually believe, who do you trust in the form of significant others. You might have trusted and believed in someone or something only to have some of those bubbles burst, because really they are just all about themselves and their own ambitions and their dreams, perhaps at the expense of you. And you're investing all your energies into a relationship where it's not really about the crucible itself. It's very much about them. What can I get out of the relationship? And it looks like it might really look like it's a really important, significant relationship, but it isn't, because deep down they are just simply getting what they can get out of you, and you just didn't get it. You never understood that until very recently, and it's just like, wait a minute. You mean I fell for that all this time? And so the relationship is kind of in the dumps because that's what would happen if poor decisions were made in relationship and truths were not understood and people were just working blindly towards ambitions that where, ambition trumps love. It's no wonder that you would end up in a situation like this. So let's just see where the momentum takes us, okay, just for now. Okay, you see with the Five of Swords here, what can happen is it might feel, Aquarius, like, let's put it this way, because the energy is so strong, the polarizing energy, the energy of polarity, let's just say this is like Leo type energy, not a person, but the energy of opposition, the complete, like, this huge wall of Leo energy. Like, for example, on the Leo new moon at the end of July, there were like 5 energies in Leo, like Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, and the North Node. That's overwhelming. That's overwhelming power that is directly overwhelming power, ruling power that is almost crushing for you, Aquarius. So you might have every reason to feel that you have a relationship that is kind of in the dumps. And the way it would take you is that, well, what am I going to do about it? Because you might be so consumed with like the woe is me energy of how it's not working the way it should be, that it almost prompts you to like go into like fight or flight mode, where like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm just me doing what I'm supposed to do honorably, and yet I'm dealing with this kind of poopy crap stuff. And so it might make you feel as though you want to like go to war about this stuff, almost go to war with the opposing energy. I'm not saying it's a person, but just like with the energy of heaven, it's almost like you're looking up to heaven saying, damn it, I work so hard to do a good job. I give so much to the community and the world. I have great ambitions and I feel I can do more, and yet I'm dealing with this, because this is like the energy of everything. It's almost like your love relationships are being condensed into this energy that's all around you. And because it's not conducive to feeling very loved and nurtured and cared, it would make you feel like you want to go into conflict, like fighting God, like screaming up to heaven and saying like, how could you do this to me? How could I be treated this way after being such a loving, caring person with so much dedication, hard work, and good ambitions, and yet I'm dealing with this. It's almost like, curse you angels, curse you relationships, curse all you people, damn you, all that kind of energy. And you just, all that does is make things worse. All that does is make the woe is me energy worse. And there's a complete, like almost absence of cups energy here at all. It's almost a completely loveless situation, because it's almost like it's been stripped away. And it's being discovered that it wasn't ever there in the first place, which could be very tragic, because the thing is, the Ace of Cups here, this is like a miniature Ace of Cups energy. Let's just say it's potentially there. But this energy of the Leo opposing energy of heaven right now could be so overwhelming that it's like you're just struggling to get by, to understand and get through this, let alone like try to bring in the love or bring back the love. It's literally like almost like survival at this point. Like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to conduct myself and have a healthy relationship with all this stuff going on that I never understood before? That's a problem, okay? Now that's just tarot illumination interpretation. Now you can reinterpret however you want, read for your sun, moon, and rising, and maybe this will make more sense to you. But the momentum seems to be leading into like, it's almost like you're beating yourself up, trying to make something work that's ultimately flawed. That's how I'm feeling it here. I'm sorry, Aquarius, to put it that way. And maybe it's okay to finally understand that and realize that you might have betrayed yourself, even with your best intentions. There's a very, very conflicted energies here. And maybe this person didn't actually mean any harm. Maybe they meant good for you, but you just took it the wrong way because maybe you had different goals and ambitions than they had. And they might have been wanting to work with you very closely, but you had another agenda, which actually, in some ways didn't include them. So in other words, what do you expect? Five of Swords, futile conflict, lose-lose situation. So that's uncomfortable energy for you, Aquarius. But again, it wouldn't surprise me at all as your reader, considering the amount of intense pressure that has been piling up against you with all this Leo stuff going on. I'm not saying a Leo person, I'm talking about the energy, okay? So, in other words, the energy of love is very, very shaky right now for Aquarius. Even if you might have a very big, loving, caring heart, and you might have thought you were dealing with people who had the same, it's actually very, very much in jeopardy. It's very much in question, and that's a problem. It's very important that you continue to mind your own business and take care of yourself, but please understand you've got some very challenging situations here. Now let's pull up one little card from the Romance Angels. Hold on. Let's get that over here. All right, let's do this. This is for fun. I think this is the first time we're doing it in the general readings for love and relationship. And because we do this in the private readings, we'll shuffle, and because we do them live, you would be called out to pull the card and you would call stop. But for now, for this reading, you're going to have to trust in tarot illumination. Hopefully, we'll just pull a card, whatever you need to know. We're just going to pull one card, and then we're going to read from the book and see how it pertains to this little reading for you, Aquarius. Now, before I forget, I hope I didn't touch any nerves or really, really upset you with these readings. Sometimes the readings are very, very hard for me to deliver because I can feel the energy. Sometimes I don't want to say it. Sometimes I want to sugarcoat and I want to make it sound all lovey-dovey and everything's just going to be wee, yeah. But that's just me lying. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. So anyway, I shuffled and here's your card. All right. So Aquarius, you have this unrequited love. Okay, then that could be from both directions, okay? You might be in a loving relationship that actually never happened. In other words, you could have had a very, very, very loving connection with someone where it coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it didn't happen. And so eventually things fell apart or fall apart or they are falling apart. And it could be happening also simultaneously right now with unrequited love. You see that? It says here, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So this would kind of match closely in alignment with the tarot itself. Let's just pull out all the cards here so you can see everything, all right? Let's just do it that way. Make some room, make room, make room. We'll put that in an angle because that's not part of the reading itself. That's the prevailing conditions and the energy. So let's read from the book, see what she says about this unrequited love, okay? The Romance Angels compassionately bring you this card as an answer to your relationship question. The person you're inquiring about has many qualities that you find attractive. However, there is not enough mutual attraction to create the passion you are seeking or the love, okay? There's really almost no love here at all. Whatever love is here is in the doldrums, and the little Ace of Cups of potential love for the future is almost invisible. You're not even focused on it because you're not even aware it's there. You're so immersed in this challenging situation. This relationship is more like a cat and mouse chase, with one partner continually retreating and disappearing. Neither person enjoys this imbalance and lack of chemistry, which is the reason. Okay, so that's a problem. I mean, you can't really build a relationship on a way. You can't force it, even if you had tremendous hopes and great expectations at some point, and then discovering that, oh my God, we've got a serious problem here. Like, they're just all about themselves. And it took all this time to realize it. Oh my God. And that's not appealing. That's very unattractive energy. Even though, like she says here, like there are a lot of qualities that are actually very appealing. Ultimately, if they don't love you and if all they're out for is what they can get out of you, you've got a big problem. You may both share genuine love, which in itself can be a foundation for a long-term relationship. This card comes to you simply to help you to understand the missing components, which both of you can sense. There's obviously something missing here. Every relationship is a synergy of blended energies, okay? That's this energy here and this energy here. The doldrums, lack of love, futile conflict, okay? You can't simply control the attraction factor, but you can override and steer it and work within it, okay? Sometimes painful childhood experiences can draw you to unhealthy relationships. And as you recreate the original situation again and again and again in an attempt to heal it. So you might be getting repeat situations here, which are essentially forcing yourself to look deep within to find out what is out of whack here that keeps drawing these kind of situations or people where, yeah, there appears to be all sorts of awesome, delightful, appealing ingredients, but it's not working. You can ask you can ask the angels for guidance to help you elevate your spiritual frequencies so that you attract a partner of similar nature. You deserve to be in a relationship of mutual appreciation and attraction, so it's worth your time and effort to manifest one with these qualities. But you're already doing that. But obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. Okay, we talked for a long time. Sorry, Aquarius, that went on very, very long. We'll leave it at that. Please make the most of this. Have a super August. Thank you so much for visiting Tarot Lumination.